Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we will be discussing one very important aspect of your career, that is interview, and how to face an interview. What are the things you need to do to prepare for an interview? And this video is going to be relevant and useful, not just for management aspirants, people who are preparing for CAT or other MP entrance examinations. This video is going to be useful for people who are currently studying management and people who have already passed out of management, because these kind of interviews will be conducted not just for entrance into management institutes, but for selecting candidates for important posts. So why interviews are conducted? Interviews are conducted basically for any kind of senior level or middle level management post, because these posts involve decision making, and decision making is a very, very important and critical component of corporate management. Any decisions that you are going to make will affect a lot of people. It will affect your employer or the organization. It is going to affect the people who are working with it. Is going to affect your clients, and ultimately it is going to affect the image of the company as well as the profitability of the company. So the decisions need to be thorough. It should be thought out, and it should be practical, efficient, and profitable. So a lot of factors need to be considered to take a balanced decision. So the person who is going to take the decision should have the key skills or abilities, not only to take a logical decision, but to implement that decision smoothly and without any problem in a company, because company means, or any organization means, you are working with people, and many of the people may not be agreeing to your decision. So your job is not just to take the decision, but to convince the team that you are working with that your decision is good, and they should be convinced that they have to go along with the decision. Only then they will be putting in their 100% in implementing the decision. So a good leader or a good decision maker is the one who is able to take very good, efficient, and long lasting, sustainable decisions, and not just taking decisions but implement them properly. That is why interviews focus on this very important skill. And in order to understand whether the candidates have this particular skill, interviews are conducted for key management positions in any organization, whether it is in government or in the private sector. So that is why this aspect is very important for management graduates. And normally what happens, there is a very popular English idiom saying that crossing the bridge when you come to it. That is what candidates normally do. You do not think about a problem unless you are faced with the problem. Means the idiom says that you don't have to worry about crossing a bridge right now. When you come to the bridge, we will think about crossing that bridge. But unfortunately, when you talk about your career, this kind of attitude is not going to work out. You need to think about crossing the bridge even before the bridge is coming to your view, so that when the bridge approaches, at that time, you have a definite plan and a concrete strategy to cross the bridge. That is why interview preparation is a long-term preparation. Do not think about preparing for the interview only after you get a call letter or a summons for the interview. You need to have a plan put in place long before the interview is going to happen. So that is why we are going to start this series from now on, where we will be discussing some key concepts and skills that you are required to have. And all the things that I'm going to discuss in this video and in the subsequent videos are based on my experience, both as a candidate appearing for the interviews when I was a candidate, and right now I am conducting a lot of interviews for selecting candidates. So I have been on to both sides of the interview board, on the side that is facing the interview and on the side that is conducting the interview. So all my experiences I'm trying to impart to you through these videos. So what is the purpose of an interview? The purpose of an interview is to understand the candidate better with regard to, basically, first is his quality. What is quality? His academic merit, means whatever achievements and how meritorious he is as an academic person. His emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? It is not just the intelligence quotient, or it is his maturity. How mature that person is in handling a particular post or a designation. That is his emotional intelligence and communication skills. So these are the basic qualities. Then character. What is character? Again, something you are born with: your honesty, your sincerity, your integrity, and dedication. So these are the main character concepts that a good candidate should have, or a good decision maker should have. So interview boards are basically looking into persons with these three or four qualities: honesty, sincerity, integrity, and dedication. And these qualities that you have: academic merit, emotional intelligence, and communication. Then the things that we can develop, or the things that are for the sparks are there in you, which can be developed. That is your decision making skills and your leadership qualities. So these also can be assessed through the processes and the team playing skills, because no leader or no decision maker is a lone individual. He is always working in a team. So you should have that ability to work with the team, not a loner. So loners are no place in organizations. You should be a team player. You should have that ability to work along with a team and adjust yourself along with the priorities and preferences of the team. That is why you are a team playing skill. So these are the four key characteristics that basically we are looking into when we talk about the interview. I'm not just talking about the personal interview. I'm also talking about the group discussion, writing ability, extempore. All these things are part of the interview process, and all these things are aimed at assessing your qualities, character, decision making, leadership, and team playing skills. So this is what an interview board is basically looking into when they conduct an interview. So this the realization or this concept you should have in mind before appearing for an interview. And what is the structure of an interview? So basically, an interview is structured into three parts. They are biodata based questions will be there. So questions that are based on your background, your whatever your family circumstances, your educational qualifications, your hobbies, your preferences, your ambitions, your strengths, weaknesses, fears. All these things are part of your biodata. So there will be a lot of questions based on your biodata. Then situation-based questions. What are situation-based questions? You will be given certain hypothetical situations or certain imaginary situations, and you will be asked to analyze the situation, and you will be asked to take certain decisions based on the situation. So your analysis skill to analyze, think on your feet, your quick thinking ability, and your ability to take decisions logically, yeah, under pressure. All these things are assessed using situation-based questions. And the third one is general awareness-based questions, because any good decision maker should be a person who is aware of what is happening out in the outside world, because your decisions are going to be influenced by the happenings in the outside world. So if you want your decisions to be long-lasting, sustainable, and profitable, and also efficient, you need to have or you need to structure your decisions according to the whatever is happening in the world. So this general awareness becomes very, very crucial, because a person who is completely cut off from what is happening in the outside world cannot be a good decision maker or a good leader. So you need to be flexible enough to take your decisions according to the changing circumstances in the outside world, which is called the business environment. So that is why this is a very important aspect, general awareness based questions. So basically the structure will be like this. There will be questions based on your biodata, questions based on situations, and questions based on general awareness. And sometimes situation based questions may not be there, but biodata based questions and general awareness based questions are always there in a interview. And what are the skills you need to have to face an interview? The first and the foremost skill is that you should be composed, or you should be very calm. So you should not be tense, or you should not be agitated. You should not be overly under pressure. If you are going to be under pressure, it will appear or it will show in your body language. So they will understand that you are tense. So that kind of when a person is very tense and very much under pressure, he will not be able to think clearly. Such a person cannot be a good decision maker. So you need to appear to be composed. Even if you are not composed inside, you need to have that appearance of composure. Then you should be confident. That means you should appear to be confident. Then you should have knowledge, and you should be having the communication skills. And we can see that when once you have this knowledge and communication, then confidence automatically comes in. And when there is confidence, there will be composure. So here you can say that these are the two key skills. Once you have these two skills, then the composure and the confidence, that is the most important These are the most important skills, and these can be achieved through knowledge and communication. That is why I told you in the beginning, you have to think about crossing the bridge before you come to the bridge. So that is why you need to start developing the knowledge and start developing the communication skills, so that you by the time you appear for the interview, you have the required confidence that will lead to your composure. So this is how you have to uh, structure your preparation. And then will think about how to tackle the biodata based questions. So this is a question that I'm frequently asked: how do we tackle biodata based questions? So here, why biodata based questions? Because it is to understand how well you know yourself. So you should be the best judge about your character and about your personality. So they will be directly asking you certain questions based on whatever information you have provided to them through your biodata, in order to understand you better. So you should first understand yourself better, so that you can impart that understanding or convey that understanding to the interview board. So first, understand yourself better by thinking about yourself. We call it introspection. So do introspect and then think and understand yourself better, analyze your personality and your character. What are the pluses and minuses in your personality and character? You do a SWOT analysis of yourself. Then you will understand your personality and your character, then learn about your likes and dislikes, why you like certain things, why you dislike certain things. So all these things, questions might be asked, so you should be able to answer those questions and be modest about your qualities and honest about your faults. Means you may have certain qualities, you should be humble or modest. You should not try to exaggerate, or you should not try to trumpet your achievements or about your qualities. Be modest about it, be humble about it, and honest about your faults. So you should not try to hide your faults or underplay your faults. You can be direct, and you can say that yes, I have this much faults, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to remove these kind of faults. That is why you should be modest about your qualities and honest about your faults. Then the fifth point is, you should learn more about your family, its history, your locality, and your state. So this is something people generally ignore, as a result of which they have some problems in their interview. I'll give you a small instance or an example that happened in the with 2021 IIM Ahmedabad, not Ahmedabad, Calcutta, IIM Calcutta interview. There was this girl who was the daughter of a commandant in the Indian Coast Guard. So she had a very good percentile in her and she was otherwise a very good candidate. And since her father was a commandant in the Indian Coast Guard, there was a question from the interview board: who is the Director General of the Indian Coast Guard? That was the question. So, unfortunately, she was not able to answer that question. Then the second question was: is Indian Coast Guard a part of the Indian military or the Indian Central Police Force? So you should know the difference between the Indian military or the armed forces and the police forces. So the three wings of the armed force we know are Army, Navy, Air Force. But Indian Coast Guard is also considered a part of the Indian military. It is not part of the Indian Central Police Force. So she was not able to answer these two questions properly, as a result of which she lost some marks. So she could have gone on to get selected in Ahmedabad, but she got selected in Calcutta because of this particular problem. So that kind of issues should not happen to you. You should be able to answer these questions or any questions based on your family, your parents, their background, the history, the locality from where you are coming, your state, what is important or what is the speciality of your state. All these kind of questions you should be able to answer properly. There should not be any confusion, because when you are not able to answer these questions properly, it projects you in a poor light. So try to learn more about these kind of things, and then you become confident about the biodata based questions. Then comes your academics. So this is another area where people have generally fare very poorly, because they don't think about the basic concepts of whatever they have studied in college regarding graduation, post-graduation, etc. So generally the interview board will focus on the nearest or the latest academic qualification you have. Suppose you have completed your graduation, after that you have done a postgraduate diploma or a postgraduate degree. Most of the questions will be based on your postgraduate diploma or your postgraduate degree, not about your graduation. So that is why you focus more on the latest academic qualification you have, whatever subjects you have studied in that particular course, and the fundamental concepts in that particular course you need to know and their practical applications. I'll give you a small example here again, something that happened in last year's IAM interview. I think it was for Lucknow. There was this guy who was an aeronautical engineer, and he was asked what is the fundamental concept of Bernoulli's principle. So Bernoulli's principle is a very important concept in physics on the basis of which aircrafts are flying. So but this person was not able to clearly explain the fundamental concepts of Bernoulli's principle, even though he was an aeronautical engineer. So that is not correct. You should think about the fundamental principles of your academics and how they are practically useful in this in our day-to-day life. So this is a very, very important thing. So like this, another question was asked in I don't remember the year, about the postgraduate in economics. He was asked about the relationship between inflation, consumption, and repo rate. So any person who is a graduate or a postgraduate in economics should be able to understand and answer questions regarding consumption, inflation, and repo rate or interest rate. So this again is very important. So think about the fundamental concepts of whatever subject you have studied, how they are practically used in the life. This is something important. Then the seventh is prepare to answer pointed questions regarding your college projects and internships. Again, college projects and internships are very, very important. So whatever you have done in your projects, in your internships, you should be thorough about that. There will be focused and pointed questions. You should be able to answer those questions correctly. Then comes the next one, some controversial questions they will be asking which are connected with your background. So these kind of questions are basically asked to understand your logical thinking and your balanced outlook regarding controversial issues. For example, if you are coming from a reservation background, of you, if you are a community which has got reservation in jobs and education and etc., the question could be, is a reservation good or bad for the country or for the society? So this is a controversial issue because the people who are benefiting from reservation, they would always justify the reservation is good. But people who are from the general category, they will say that their chances are being taken away because of reservation. So that is why this is a controversial issue. So those kind of controversial topics could be asked. So if you are from a reserved category, then maybe you can justify it by saying that social equality is equally important as merit. So in order to ensure the social equality in our country, since our country, the people are coming from diverse backgrounds and with different social setups and all, these kind of reservations are required. And if you are coming from a non-reservation background, you can say that yes, social status or a social equality is necessary, but for social equality, caste-based reservation is not the solution. You can say that reservation on the basis of economic status should be resorted, so that people from all castes should be getting the benefit of reservation, provided they are having any economic problem or they are from the economically underprivileged society. So according to the situation, you can justify. So that is why these kind of questions are asked to judge how balanced you are in your outlook towards controversial issues. So you should not be one-sided. You should think about both sides of an issue and then come to a decision. So that kind of balanced outlook is necessary. That is why these kind of controversial issues are raised in your interviews frequently to understand about your outlook. Then comes the next one, have a concrete plan regarding your future and how you have to achieve your goals. So this is again very important. There will be questions based on what is your ambition, how you plan to achieve your goals, how you are going to incrementally improve your career so that you reach your goal. So this kind of, you should have a thought about your future and how you are going to achieve your goals. You should have a very concrete plan and you should be explained that to the interview board. Then they will ask about your plan B. That means if you are a good leader and you are a good decision maker, you should always have a plan B. That means you should not be completely depending on plan A, because so many things could go wrong with plan A. So that is why you should have an alternate plan ready. So for your life also, you should have an alternate plan. So what is the alternate plan? In case the things are not going to work out according to your plan, then what is your alternate plan? So that also they will be asking in order to understand whether you are a careful decision maker who always thinks about the alternatives, especially when they talk about your life. So this is again something important. Then comes the situation-based questions, how to tackle situation-based questions. So here you will be given a hypothetical situation, and then you will be asked to understand the situation, analyze the options, and then think about the most logical option. So this is again to assess your decision-making abilities, your ability to think quickly, analyze the given facts in a very logical manner, and arrive at a very quick decision which is logical and which can be explained in a rational manner. So that is how these kind of situation-based questions are asked, and we will be in the continuing coming videos and all, we will be tackling such situation-based questions to the extent possible, and we'll also be talking about the biodata-based questions to some extent. So this is another important area where you should be doing some research, but here too much preparation is not necessary because it is all based on that particular situation which you will know at that time, but you should develop the ability to think logically and then analyze and understand the situation and answer the questions accordingly. So that is the fact regarding the situation-based questions. Then comes the general awareness-based questions. So I told you this is a very, very important area, and your performance in this area, along with your performance in the situation-based questions, is going to be having some weightage in your overall score. That is why you should have done a lot of preparation in this area. And unfortunately, I see that candidates of the recent generations, if you go back some 5 to 10 years ago, candidates of that generation was very well prepared in this area. But nowadays, due to the influence of the digital media and all, people don't go for in-depth reading of newspapers. So this is why it is very, very important. You should have an in-depth reading of, not the superficial reading where you are aware about the things, but you don't know in detail about the issues. So this is for a decision maker, this a superficial awareness is not enough. You should have an in-depth understanding. That is why you should make it a habit, the in-depth reading of newspapers, whether you are a management graduate or a person who is studying for management or a person who is studying for to aspire or aspiring for management career. Everybody should have this as a daily routine so that you have a very good understanding about the issues that are going on and your opinions regarding the issues. Because most of the time it is not just the issues they'll be asking about your opinion regarding the issue. That is why when you do read the newspapers, you will get an understanding regarding the important national and global issues. And another important thing, you should keep the important data in your mind regarding the economy, because management means most of the time you will be working in the economy related areas, because most of the management posts are in economy related areas or in companies and corporations where economy is a very important thing. So you should know about the Indian economy, the status of the Indian economy, the key indicators or the statistical data regarding the Indian economy, also the world economy. So this is a thing that you need to keep track of, because some questions will be asked, and if you answer these questions correctly, that will give you a lot of good marks. I have seen repeatedly that people who answer these kind of questions correctly and in a very expansive and very thorough manner, they are faring very well in the interviews. Their overall score is very good. So that is why this is an important area. You need to keep preparing in this area so that your performance or your knowledge level is very, very good. So then I told you, it is not just the awareness of the issues. You should have an in-depth understanding, and then you should be able to form opinions about the major issues. And also you should be able to express these opinions calmly and logically. Why calmly? Because in some cases, the issues are so close to your heart, or it is something personal. You have very intense feelings about this issue. So when talking about this issue, so use your calm and you become too excited. So that means you are not able to approach the controversial issues logically or calmly. So any decision maker or any leader should have calmness and composure as their hallmarks, because in under stressful situations, you should be able to think calmly and decide logically. So that is why how calmly and logically you are expressing the opinions, that carries a lot of weight in the interview process. I'll give you a small example. This is a newspaper article of a recent edition of Hindu on the controversy regarding the lateral entry into the civil services. So if if I were to conduct an interview today, I will definitely be asking this as a question, because I generally conduct interviews. So this is a question that I'll definitely ask in today's interview, because even though this article appeared yesterday or day before yesterday, this is a controversy that is going on in recent times about the lateral entry into the civil services. So this issue is talking about a proposal by the government to recruit people to the cadre of joint secretaries, under secretaries, and deputy directors directly from corporates or from academics and all, instead of the career bureaucrats or the civil service officers who have joined the administration at their young age as IAS officers. So generally, these people are promoted to joint secretaries, deputy secretaries, etc. Now, government has a proposal to laterally recruit people from outside into these posts. Whether this is good or bad for the overall administrative efficiency, that is the question. And the issue is examined in detail in this article. What is lateral entry? That is discussed. What is the merit versus spoil system? That is also discussed. And what are the pros and cons? What are the merits and demerits of this lateral entry scheme? And how we can solve the issue? That also is discussed. So the proposal by UPSC has been put on hold due to the intervention of the Prime Minister's office. But whether this scheme is overall an efficient scheme or a non-efficient scheme, that is how why this article is that is what this article is exploring. So if you read this article, you will get a very good insight into the entire controversy, its historical aspect, what is the current situation, what are the merits and demerits, how can we solve the issue. So all these things are very clearly spelled out in this particular issue, that in this article. That is why reading newspapers in depth is very, very important for your overall knowledge about the current issues that are going on in the world. So that, just to highlight that, I have talked about this article. In the coming videos, we'll be examining these kind of articles in detail to learn more about the issues. So my focus in this entire interview preparation series will be on the general awareness aspect and the biodata based aspect, with some questions on the situation-based question aspects also. So now we will come to the what are the do's you have to do in an interview. What are the things you should be doing? So be respectful and courteous. So you should be respectful and courteous towards the interview board. You should appear in a decent attire, means you should not appear in a disheveled manner. Means I have seen people appearing with long birds, with hair tied on ponytails, and with low waist pants. So those kind of things are not correct. The first impression is always making a very good impression, even though it is not the best impression as far as management is concerned, but it always makes for a good impression. So you have to appear decently, you dress formally and appear decently in a very clean and the presentable manner, so that the impression is created. Then listen to the questions with care, think and answer. Do not jump to an answer. First, let the interviewer finish with the question, then think about it for a while and then answer, and ask for clarifications if you do not understand the question properly. So if you have any doubts regarding the question, do not hesitate to ask for clarification. They will be more than ready to clear your doubts. They will not think bad about you if you ask for clarification. So do ask for clarifications, and whenever necessary, do admit your ignorance. Don't bluff. Means whenever you do not know the answer to a question, very clearly say that, sir, I don't know. So that is not a problem. Admitting your ignorance is actually indicating your honesty and sincerity. That is why I told you honesty and sincerity are very, very, very important aspects that any interviewer is looking for, whether you are going for a management entrance interview or for a job interview. This is something that is very important. So be honest and sincere about whatever you do. Then what are the don'ts? do not pretend to be someone you are not. Means do not try to be pretentious or do not try to project yourself as somebody that you are actually not by exaggerating about your achievements or talking big about what you did or all these kind of things which cannot be corroborated. So that is called a safe life. So do not indulge in safe lies. I have seen many coaching institutes promoting or exhorting candidates to indulge in safe lies and say that I did this, I did that, I did this, I had done that kind of thing. So, but personally, I do not think that is a good strategy because somewhere or other your bluff will be called or you will be caught lying. So then the situation becomes very much unpleasant. That is why do not pretend to be someone you are not. Do not be overconfident and pretentious. Again, the same thing. Don't appear to be overconfident. So you have to be confident, but not overconfident. Again, you do not try to project yourself as too important. That is pretentiousness. So don't be too pretentious. At the same time, don't be too humble also. Means you have to be humble, you have to be respectful and courteous, but don't be too humble or try to indulge in flattery. So try not to indulge the interviewer talking about great about them or saying too many adulatory things about the interview board. That is actually going to put them off because the people who are sitting on the interview board, they are not fools. So please remember that they have been doing this for quite a while. They are very knowledgeable. They are people who are able to understand the character of a person just by talking to him or her for 5 minutes. So don't try to fool these people. They are not fools. So don't do these kind of things. And do not jump into an answer before the question is completed. I told you this. Do not interrupt an interviewer. Let them finish the question and then answer. So do not be over eager to answer a question. Even if you know the answer, please allow them to complete the question and then answer. And most importantly, do not lie or bluff. So don't lie for anything. Don't bluff for anything. If you don't know something, admit your ignorance. So these are the don'ts in an interview. Now, how scoring is done. So for all the important interviews, scoring is done in this particular order because this is what I have had personal experience. So a lot of marks are given for your appearance, your honesty and transparency. How transparent and honest you appear to be, for those marks are given. Then marks are given for your knowledge and presentation of general awareness. See, so general awareness, whenever you present the general awareness topics, your answer to the general awareness questions, and the way you present the answers, that carries a lot of weightage apart from your appearance, honesty, etc. So this is why this area is very, very important. We will be focusing on this area more in the coming sessions or the coming videos. Then your decision making and team playing skills, other important things. So this is also important. So with the basically what they are looking is whether you have the fundamental talent in decision making and team playing. Even if it is not at a very high level, if you have that fundamental skills, the other things can be developed. So that is why this they are looking for. These marks are given. Then finally, communication. So people are too much worried about their communication. But if you have knowledge, if you appear to be honest and transparent, and you have these skills, even if your communication is not that good, if it is possible, then you don't have to worry. So even if you have a very good communication, but you don't have knowledge, you are just bluffing and just talking, going on talking, that is not going to help you. So communication is important, but not that important. The more important things are your appearance, honesty, transparency, knowledge, especially regarding general awareness and the decision making and team playing skills, because communication can be developed over a period of time. So you try to develop your communication as far as possible prior to the interview. But even if you don't have that very good level of communication, don't worry. Work on the other aspects like knowledge, presentation of general awareness, appearance, honesty, etc., etc. So that way you will be able to perform reasonably well in your interview. So this is what I wanted to say in the first video. In the coming videos, we'll be focusing more on some biodata based questions, situations based questions, and more importantly, general awareness based questions, because this requires long-term preparation. Other things, maybe we can do it in the short terms, whereas this is an area where you need a long-term preparation. So my first focus will be on general awareness based questions. Then we will discuss about biodata and situation based questions as well. So I hope you got some insight into how to prepare for the interview, what is the importance of an interview, how the interview board is looking at you and what are the things they are searching in you. So accordingly, you need to prepare and appear for the interview. So this is what I wanted to talk to you in the first video on interview preparation. I'll be coming up with more videos on this topic. If you have liked the content, please like, share, and subscribe so that I get motivated to do more videos. So I'll be eagerly waiting for your feedback. Thank you. Bye bye.